Hello and welcome to the Nintendo Music Wars, episode 9. I'm your host, Judah Terry, and I'm joined by Nintendo music producer Eli Turp as we go head to head with some of the best video game music on the planet. Guys, briefly, if you don't know what this is and just click on this episode and have no clue what we're doing, this is a exclusive series run by me, host of the Giles Game podcast, and of course my friend and fellow YouTuber, Eli Turp. We pick two OCT soundtracks from Nintendo games that we like. We pick out three of our favourite tracks. We show the tracks. We kind of argue why we think each one is better, and then you guys at the end have to vote overall which OCT won. And the people with the most votes at the end of the series wins the entire wars. And so far, we're neck and neck again, Elijah. But anyway, before we get onto that, how are you doing? Episode 9. I'm getting a bit sad. This is our second to last episode of the Nintendo Music Wars.
Next week's going to be the finale. So
yeah, the final, the real. I guess like the results episode we're gonna have to do you think the results episode we'll have to do after episode 10? That's a good question.
Yeah, I think we'll just have to do a quick 10-minute
10-minute reward and lose, so we have at least 5 minutes for crying and 5 minutes for cheering for the loser and the winner. But it's been a great one.
We've got a plan for next week, though, don't we?
We have got some should we tease it?
Yeah,
we tease it. Yeah, Xenoblade is on the cards, so very, very exciting. All Xenoblade. It's going to be an all Xenoblade episode for those of you Xenoblade fans, and that actually did really well. Our first ever episode. So
I think it's going to be interesting to see as well, because it's the fan base is quite split on between 2 and 3 in soundtrack wise. So I think it'll be interesting to because we'll both be like. Technically, we both win either way because it's Xenoblade. But at the same time,
which
we
series?
See who prefers which, So.
Yeah. So next episode is the last and most probably exciting episode to look out for, guys, because it's gonna be announcing the second to. It's gonna be the last proper episode, basically. Yeah. This is the second to last, guys. So get your votes in, and again, this is not the last episode, so I sound a bit sentimental, but thank you to everybody who's made this series possible for voting on all the everything, and we've had new viewers as well that have come in and just enjoyed the series. And of course, Elijah, this is where we can hear you exclusively because you have now left the main podcast. For those of you who have been, how do you feel? Has it been weird? Just not it hasn't started yet. It's going to be weird, isn't it? Just waking up and being like, oh, I've got the podcast today. It's back to normal for me. It's just,
just means I do more work hours now, so it's not fun. No, but it's fine.
Not fun. But
in a week or two, I'll be gone from here as well. So
you've gone from where?
Gone from this show as well.
You're gone from this show. You're leaving all the shows, but in one way, it's kind of been a good thing for you, you could say, because it's kind of kept you online. You're internet personality, still been around for anyone to check in on and see how you're doing, basically. And as soon as you've left the podcast, it's kind of timed in nicely because, Elijah, I believe you now have a laptop on the way.
Yeah, I bought it today.
Yes.
4 hours ago, after days and days of research and days and nights. I actually I did an all-nighter one night.
Day and night? What?
Yeah, I got carried away looking at researching for the best laptop for my budget.
Man, I spent serious about
7 hours straight. It was 5:30 in the morning. I realized, oh crap, look at the time.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I spent a lot of time researching on this. And I didn't actually buy the one that I really wanted.
Oh, right.
Because it was just too expensive. But instead, I got one that's more affordable because I'm not made of money.
Yes.
And realistically, I don't want to wait another month to then buy the one I wanted. I'd rather just I still wanted this one, and it's still a good one. But yeah, at least now with this arriving next week, I will then be able to continue my YouTubing and my music creation.
Exactly.
And all those kind of things. So that'll be good, yeah.
And you can kind of fall back onto that as a hobby because now YouTube have done this new thing, which is actually in upholsion. And I don't know what the right word is. It's upholding small YouTubers because you're now eligible for monetization at 500 subs.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't know about this. Hold on.
Yeah. Did you not know? It's just a new thing. But you can now be eligible for money at 500 subscribers. You don't have to have 1,000 now. So you are literally what?
As of June.
Yeah.
I didn't even know of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're now
I'm so close. I'm less than 100 away.
Elijah's 400.
Yeah.
I just like how excited you were. I thought you already knew this.
I have no
I
clue
was
because I've
shocked.
got the YouTube Studio app where I check my stuff, and it still
Mm.
says unless it's updated like recently. Let me
Yeah,
check.
yeah. If
Oh, there's a new page. Yeah, there's
it's
a
a
new
new
thing.
page, yeah, yeah. So basically, guys, you've now hit over 400 subs now, thanks to many people from the podcast going subscribing, and now you're literally 100 away, Elijah. If you keep that grind going, you'll get monetized, and then you have extra
Mm.
money in, and hopefully you can actually do things. It's for me also. I've on the YouTube front. This is like a quick talk about before the main episode, guys. But I released my latest video. Finally, once and for all, I released the Nintendo Switch OLED unboxing because I finally got the console and I unboxed it, and it did really well. The video did. It earned me like 4 or 5 subs, and I was like,
He
yes.
got like 100 and something views. That was really good.
Yeah, over
Yeah.
100 and something views. It's funny because the things that you kind of don't put much effort into sometimes get the biggest stuff. Like, because Tears of the Kingdom didn't do as well as I wanted it to. The Tears of the Kingdom video, and it was all right, I guess. But that's the video I'd spent hours and days over of research and video clipping and copyright stuff. And then the Nintendo Switch unboxing video, I edited it in a day and uploaded it in the same day of editing it. It took me 2 hours, and it like did really well. So I was like, it's just funny, how
Mm.
what booms and what doesn't, I guess. And yeah, I mean, I'm saying it for you now, Elijah. You can now properly start your career. Really, you start.
I think is I'm reading it. I'm reading it. It's good news, but it's not like a complete victory.
Oh no! Why is it not
So
complete victory? I
yeah,
mean, no.
so now memberships
Mm,
and like super chats, so people can pay you
mm,
directly or
mm.
pay a monthly membership,
Oh right,
and
right.
you can link things in your like you can link a shop and things like that. You get
Yeah,
all of that at 500 subs, and
yeah.
if you've been uploading regularly, you can get it as well with
Mhm,
500 subs and 3,000 hours of watch time.
mhm.
But you don't get paid for ads
No, you
until a
don't. Do you...
thousand. No.
Oh man, I thought it was because it was like you can let you know if you're eligible or not.
So
Oh.
I've got it on the app. It's telling
Mm,
me. So it's still good news. It means basically
mm,
means you don't need to have a third party like
mm.
thing for memberships and super chats. But I already have one, so but no, it's fine. I will definitely add
Yeah.
this. That'd be cool. Yeah.
I see. I see. Well, that'll
Mm.
be interesting. I mean, you've got to buy me a coffee, haven't you? Which is
I do.
a little.
I'm actually gonna leave that site soon.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
really? No one's
just
just
because
buying you any coffees.
no, it's not even that. I mean, I got some people on there, but the thing is,
Mm.
because of the percentage that they take, I found somewhere
Oh.
else that takes nothing, and that's
Oh.
really good, obviously, because more money in my pocket, more
Mm.
money like from the fans who actually want to give
Yeah.
it to me, actually going to me, rather than
Mm.
a company. And Buy Me a Coffee is a great company,
Mm. Mm.
but like they do take 5% of
They take five
everything.
percent.
It's not a lot, but like
Someone gives you £1, they take 5% of the £1.
yeah, it's not a
We
lot,
all
but it
have
is
that.
like
Yeah.
yeah. I need to look at how much YouTube would take as well, because if YouTube don't take
Mm.
much, like if they take less than that, then I could just do it on YouTube and leave it at that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But for the
Yeah.
time being, yeah, I'm probably gonna switch to a different
Upgrade.
one. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
still interesting to see
Yeah.
that. I didn't know you could. That was a thing. That's cool. Yeah.
That's a little cool thing right there. But yeah, that's the kind of little update, guys. This is the second to last episode, and we're just discussing YouTube and
Mhm.
yeah. But anyway, I think without further ado, we should move on to the um the winning track of last week. Which one won? Now
Mm.
we actually discussed this before recording. It's really interesting what won. Really, I mean, I'm happy about this, and I was actually dreading today because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna lose this series. But it turns out I'm actually made a comeback, a revival, thanks to you guys, because the winning track of the week is, drum roll please, with 689 votes. Well, that's the total votes, not me completely, but 689 votes in total. Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, 461 votes, 67%. And then Tomodachi Life coming in at 228 votes, 33%. Now, the reason why this kind of surprised me, even though I won, is because you chose Ace Attorney, which is more popular like last week, and
Mm.
yet that got a super low percentage.
Yeah.
And Pokemon just got a high percentage. But I don't understand. And then, but I don't know why, but then To Much You Life I thought would do better than this, but of course, Apollo Justice for some reason just took over with 67%. Man, 461 votes. I don't know the logistics behind this. Is it probably played more? Is it the fan base just knows that Apollo Justice always Tomodachi Life in the majority of our audience of over something couple thousand people? Do they prefer Ace Attorney, or do they just not know Tomodachi Life, or they just didn't like the music that you chose?
I have no. The thing is that it could be that we all like Ace Attorney, but that Pokemon was just so popular that it blew it out of the water that one time. Like, it could be that, but I don't know.
It could be, or I'm actually guessing. Maybe it was people actually listening, because we've had a lot of people just listening to the full episode, which is great, guys, which you should do. Very appreciative of that. Listening to like a full hour of us rambling around, but a lot of people were listening to the full episode, and I thought that they actually went off the teasers, and my teasers may have probably sounded more pleasing, because it's more orchestral. Yours are more 8-bitty boppy, aren't they? But yeah, I don't know. What's your sort of speech? Your losing speech to this? I've won though. Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested to see. I mean, I don't know, they're similar. They were similar styles, like same kind of era in a way. But yeah, I was just surprised that Ace Attorney lost one week and then won the other week, even though Apollo Justice is less popular than Trials and Tribulations. I think that's interesting, I guess.
So it's kind of all on who wins next, really. To be fair, really, it is really, and the second one, of course, that's it. And then it's either going to be a tie, which won't happen, because I don't know. I hope it doesn't anyway, or it's just not going to work.
Yeah, because if I win this one, or if you win this one and I win the next one, whatever maybe, if we both win one more point, then it is a tie. So,
that's just boring. That would be. I don't know. I have to think about that.
No, thing is, I know. I'm pretty sure I'm going to win this one.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure I'm going to win next week as well. So.
Okay, so he's got his hopes up, but that don't think so fast, my friend. But we'll try. We'll try. Now, actually, I was looking out for messages and the emails. People usually like write comments in, say why they chose the vote or something, and there's no one explained why they voted for anything. Just all vote this.
There's no explanation whatsoever.
This.
Just,
there was one message that made me laugh. There was one message that made me laugh though. It was like no rigging, winky face, as if I was like rigging the votes, like in my favour, being like, haha, secretly, this is going to be the winner. Imagine I was doing that. But it's quite funny because that's the only message I got. It was like someone put in their vote for, I think it was either Apollo Justice or Tom. Actually, I forgot now. There's this little message with a winky face saying no rigging the votes, haha, as if I was.
They know what you're up to.
They know what I'm up to. No, I'm joking. Maybe I'm joking. No, it's all pure good. But it's
rigged.
Yeah, imagine I rigged it all. It's just
Judas shows 0 points. Rigged it.
Imagine, I'm just imagine like you find out in the end. Oh, Elijah, every win was. I'm joking, but no, it wasn't. But yeah, don't worry, guys. I'm not rigging. But Elijah, you have some comments, I believe, that have been actually written down on the voting. Have you got any interesting ones?
People on my poll on my YouTube. They're saying one person was saying the gift of prophecy. They're very happy. And someone else saying I love democracy. So clearly my fans obviously still very Ace Attorney oriented, still very happy about the Ace Attorney victory. Although a lot of my fans don't listen to the podcast. So a lot of them will just see these random polls. And might think it's for a video or something, I don't know. But they'll just be like, oh yeah, Ace Attorney, woo. They don't know it's not me, they don't know it's you that they're voting for.
Yeah,
it's fine.
They do know it's me. Haha. You have to do a collaborative post in the end. Of course, I think at the end of this series, you're gonna have to probably put a post out saying, by the way, all those polls.
Yeah,
we'll promote our series. Yeah, hours to edit all this.
I think I'd have promoted it quite a few times, but people just don't listen sometimes. But yeah, I will. Once we have that, the final, after episode 10, we have the episode that kind of tallies the votes up and says, I will link that and I'll share that around, and I'll be like, okay. This is what it was for, by the way, just so you know.
Nice. Yeah, and then make exactly. We can always reflect on it and to your viewers, be like, oh yeah, I did this series with this amazing podcast called the JLD, with the amazing co-host. But if I lose, maybe I'll be a bit salty about you promoting it. But it's a great series, and honestly, I encourage anyone to listen to it because I put the amount of hours it takes to edit an episode, because I've got to clip up all the audio and then line it up with everything. It's quite hard, actually. I was surprised.
You've got to do chapters as well. I know from.
Oh, the chapters the worst.
The thing is, I've when I did those, I did the big reacting to Scarlet and Violet OST thing. And that was that
was a good one.
And that took so long to edit. But what was even harder than the editing on my old slow laptop, what was even harder than that was the chapters.
100%.
Going over the video to find every little chapter, every single track, and labeling it. And half the people won't even use them. That's the thing. So it's like, it's so time consuming. Yeah, it's a lot of effort.
And it feels upsetting because it's like you're doing all this for nothing sometimes. Yeah, sometimes it's a bit frustrating.
I'm still happy to do it because it's like it makes it look better. It makes it easier. It's better for the algorithm as well. But also, it is like I personally enjoy having chapters on a video, so I want to do that for other people as well. Make it easier for them.
Me too. That's why I like doing it. And Nintendo Music Wars really can't be uploaded and enjoyed fully, I think, without chapters because you can find your way around the tracks.
Yeah.
And if you don't, if you feel someone just here for the music, you can just skip past the rambling part of us now talking. You can just go straight onto the music. I think it's really good for that. And it's really tedious though. It takes me about an hour to listen to the entire thing. And being a podcast host, doing the main episodes, they're the real nightmares. Sometimes I have to actually, like last episode, that was the nightmare because me and you had a chill episode with the rowing, and we were just literally talking about everything from babies flying around.
All of the random tangents we go on.
Oh, the random tangents. It was like an hour of just tangents, right? And I absolutely was like, kill me now. Like, kill me now. It took me an hour.
At least you get to listen to our witty banter over and over again.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hopefully people will look back on that and find that episode and laugh, hopefully, and not cringe. But it was a good episode. But anyway, go check that out. But yeah, that's the winner of this week is me, coming in a good vote.
Congratulations,
Thank you very much. The current points voting are Judah 4 points and Elijah 4 points. Neck and neck again. Great stuff. But let's see who wins this time. I'm very intrigued. Elijah seems to be very, very motivated. He's like, I will win this no matter what. So I'll love to see.
I think I've chosen a real banger. Like the game I've chosen.
I can't argue with that. Yeah.
It's not like crazily well known, but the music is dope. The music is so good.
Yeah.
So damn good.
The music is on another level, bro. It's like opium, whatever it is, music level. It's just so good. It's just so. Anyway, I'll let you hype it up because it's your soundtrack. So without further ado, we should go straight into it. Elijah, what is your OCT? Your chosen OCT?
So the game soundtrack I've chosen today is Shin Megami Tensei 4.
Woo! Sorry. I thought I was doing that. I don't know why.
Nice. So this game. Made by Atlas, released on the 3DS. Pretty sure it still hasn't been ported to this day. I'm pretty sure it's only 3DS. So.
Yeah, still 3DS.
Nintendo exclusive, I guess. I mean, although the eShop's gone, so HShop exclusive.
HShop exclusive. Get today. Free.
Shin Megami Tensei 4. It's a great game. It's a turn-based combat story game, mainly based on you making your own decisions. Kind of all the Shin Megami Tensei games, they give you your own kind of moral dilemma.
I like that.
And then, they'll introduce you to a really interesting world first, and a set of characters, and then each of these characters will kind of represent something, and they'll really follow this kind of mindset strongly. And you as a player have to go, who do I agree with? Who do I not agree with? And it kind of leads you down a certain path. And then also there's demon slaying, demon capturing, all this demon fusion stuff.
Yeah.
And the combat is still very cool. So
yeah, it's so good. I feel like I'll enjoy this, but I'm just too addicted to my Switch right now to go on my 3DS.
Yeah, you'll get. I mean, one day. Yeah.
One day, when I eventually pick my 3DS, my poor 2DS is gathering dust at this point, and I feel it feels really strange. I think to pick up the 3DS after going on the Switch, but I will. I'll return. I'll return.
Because I've played. I haven't actually finished 4 yet. I played 3. On the PS2 many years ago, but when I finish 4, if it's really good, I will recommend it to you.
100%. I will play.
Everyone's saying the ending's good news. So
if there's ever a port, it'll be even better because I like how it's been games like Ace Attorney's being ported because the Switch just holds a nicer sort of touch to it.
I mean, there is always Shin Megami Tensei 5, that's a different game. So
yeah, but it's kind of different, isn't it? It's not the original. I'm guessing this game has a lot of. Yeah, I'm guessing this game has a lot of nostalgia tied to it then for you because you played it a few years ago and stuff.
Yeah, for me with 3, obviously big nostalgic game for me. 4, it's different. Obviously, it's still a Shin Megami Tensei game, so it's like every Pokemon game is the same, but they're all different, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is different, but I do still feel there's like some things that kick me with nostalgia. I'm like, yeah, that's nice.
That's nice. They're good, like spot that hit, they're good nostalgia that hits the spot sometimes. I like that. Speaking of my OCT this week, it's definitely a nostalgic piece. But yeah, carry on.
It is for me as well.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I kind of.
Oh, really?
Kind of, like pulled it out your backside, and I was like, "Where did this come from?" Because you sent the 3 tracks to me. I was like, I don't know what I was expecting.
Yeah.
but for this clash, the games are so different. I was not expecting you to pick up.
Oh, I know it's gonna be very interesting, this clash, I think.
I mean, the title is gonna be wild. I'm just imagining the thumbnail and how different the scenes with the complete like contrast, like stark difference in image.
In graphics.
Yeah, in everything, the mood of both the games is so different.
It's extremely nostalgic, my one. But you played that one, didn't you, as well? Did you?
Yeah, I played it a lot as a kid on the Wii. I didn't play it on the DS. You picked the DS one. I played it on the Wii.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, great game.
We'll discuss that when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, nostalgic game for you. This is Shin Megami Tensei. Bloody can't say it. Shin Megami Tensei.
You can say SMT.
It's SMT. There we go.
Way more easy. You know the Persona games as well, don't you?
Yes. So I'm more familiar with Persona than I am with Shin Megami Tensei.
They're all from the same family kind of thing. Persona is a spin-off kind of series from SMT.
So what would you say is better, in your opinion, maybe? Shin Megami Tensei or Persona 5 or Persona 4?
It really depends. They're very different because obviously, Persona is very, like, driven on, make friends with your characters and you go live it's like a simulation type of game, and then you got the combat and the story and all these kind of deep levels to it, and also much longer those games are.
Okay.
But then SMT's mainly focused on lots of gameplay, lots of combat, and then you're put into this really cool world with really good music, and then it's more just what do you do as a player in these difficult situations? It's more of that kind of thing, and it's a unique experience. It's really good, but they're very different from Persona.
So you should play them both, really, to get your own experience.
See which one you prefer.
Yeah.
But I think,
interesting.
I've seen a lot of Persona fans online play an SMT game and be like, "Oh, it's rubbish." Because they're going into it with like really high expectations, like, "Oh yeah, this is going to be just like Persona." It's nothing like Persona. Really.
It's different.
Yeah, other than the combat, it is not like Persona. It's very different. So even the combat is different. So you've got to play both and realize they're from the same family, but they're very different.
Yeah, that's what makes it unique, you could say. But don't compare them like to be the same. Otherwise, you're kind of disrespecting the game. Otherwise, it's like then you won't enjoy it, will you? You won't enjoy it, as you just said. You get angry and be like, "Oh, this is rubbish," but it's not really. It's just
same composers, which is always good to see.
Yes, that's good. That's very good then. Same composers. So a link there.
Yeah. So it's always he's great. I'll talk about him in a bit, but he's great. So this soundtrack, it has overall it kind of has a mix of rock, metal, alternative music, synthwave, electro, experimental, fusion, funk, hip hop, and even more. It's full of surprises.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's full of surprises, and it's masterfully written by Shoji Meguro. He is one of the composers for this game, and he's the lead composer for the Persona games and other things. So he's brilliant. Love his work as as well. I also wanted to point out, I read a comment. A lot of the music in this game is like obviously full of different styles, but most of it sticks to the same kind of genre to keep consistency, obviously. But yeah, there's the guy who said it sounds strangely like 80s music, modern music, and futuristic music, kind of all at the same time.
I kind of got that. I think that's a
really unique mix of styles, and he's completely right. Yeah,
it
is a weird mix of the past, present, and future all in one. And it's great.
It is, and it's got that old feel to it as well. It's got a Nintendo DS feel to it, the original Nintendo
like
DS.
A retro kind of.
A retro feel, but not like super retro, like Game Boy retro. But it's the middle in between. So you've got the Nintendo DS, which is like a scratchy sort of feeling to the music. And that's what I got from this track. But needless to say, before we, I'll speak more about it when we actually head into the 3 tracks. But the music is a vibe, and I don't think I can actually argue with it. It's just these are both genuinely really good tracks. OCTs, and this particular OCT for Shin Megami. Tell me what
SMT, bro. Just say
SMT. I know. I forgot the shorter version. Anyway, the SMT, right? SMT. Got that. SMT. Like it's got a really. I'm with the not familiar gang right here. So those of you who literally do not know a single thing about SMT, then you're with me. Like you may have heard it. Your friend Elijah, Elijah say, "Oh yeah, it's a good game." I'm like, "Yeah, but I've not actually played it." So, but as soon as the music, and its Japanese style, being a massive fan of Japan, has already got me really intrigued. And we're going to discuss with the first track as well, but that's really good.
Yeah, the SMT games are all kind of based in some sort of dystopian version of Japan.
Just Japan. One of your tracks is actually based on Tokyo, so.
The entire game is based on. There's loads of different locations. There's Ikebukuro. If I'm saying that right. All sorts of places.
Ikebukuro. Yeah, correct.
So SMT 3 and 4, and I think 5 as well. They're all based in Tokyo.
Oh man, this is a game I want to
They
get
all have
into.
real world locations, like a dystopian version. It's so good.
So yeah, I guess you'd
like it.
I would like it. I'm with you guys that don't know the game, but I'm with the lot that want to get into this. Like, I want to get into this game, and the music has made me want to get into this game, and also the Japanese style. So yeah, absolutely can't wait to get this game. I mean, Xenoblade is on the cards first, but I actually will get my 3DS and play this game.
Yeah, of course. Let's move on to the first track, shall we?
Let's do it. I'm excited. Let's get straight into it. What's your first track and why?
So my first track is Traffic, in parentheses, Arcade Town. So this one is actually carried over, technically, from previous games. So in a sense, I sent you this SMT3 version of it.
Yeah, that sounded more smooth, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's the Ginza version. It's the song for Ginza in that game.
Ginza, yeah.
But in this game, it's not for Ginza. It's for I think it's for an online thing actually. But it's still very, very good. It's a completely different kind of remix, different vibe here. But yeah, the music in this game, I kind of want the audience to imagine the music in this game. It's all written as if these were like actual songs, not made for a video game OST, but like they're all part of one big album. And I love this style of music. So
I get that feeling, to be fair.
Yeah,
it's like an album sort of worthy music.
Yeah. So the SMT Nocturne fans, as I said, recognize this one, and actually read some comments when listening to this. It's like, this is that song that everyone knows just from somewhere, because it's kind of any SMT fan just knows it. I've heard it more than once. Yeah, I think this is the best version of it personally. I like this kind of atmospheric vibe. Yeah, the bass line, very groovy. The
100%.
Drums are great. The synths and the keys will fill in the gaps. Like, again, you're going to hear me say it a lot, but the soundtrack oozes atmosphere. It is so pleasant to listen to.
I like atmospheric music, so this is amazing. Yeah.
It's the best way I can describe it, really. But, like, imagine you're in some post-apocalyptic version of Tokyo when you're listening to all of these. It's a really cool aesthetic to imagine.
Set the vibe.
It immerses you in that kind of world as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, this music, very, very groovy. This is your favourite, I believe?
Yes, this is my favourite. I mean, all of the tracks are awesome. I'll give you that. But this one is a favourite, my absolute favourite. As soon as I clicked on the video, I was like, this has got to be his best ever track.
You actually, you messaged me saying, this is the best one you've ever sent me.
Like, yeah. It's like a halfway insult, halfway compliment. Yeah,
it's my favourite one ever so far.
It's the best thing you've ever done. The insult is because you've already recorded 9 episodes with me, and it's the best music you've ever chosen.
Yeah.
I mean, no, it's a joke. You chose some good tracks, but Xenoblade included. But this has got to be, in my opinion, one of the best. Honestly, I mean, I've always been quite interested at what Nintendo 3DS games can produce for their games, and or retro style, and it's never the retro style sort of atmospheric music. It always feels scratchy to me. It always feels a bit, it's like plastic to me. But this was another level. It made me feel like in the situation, in the atmosphere.
It's good
in Traffic, Arcade Town. I feel I can know what, but I feel like good mixing. I feel like I'm going through like some smoky arcade traffic. There's traffic all over on the roads. There's arcades like pachinko parlors, and like people smoking cigarettes all over the place. It's just kind of, there's got a funky like vibe. Maybe a few clubs here and there, bars, open bars. I just feel like that, and I immediately was like, close your eyes and set the tone, like you're in post Tokyo, Japan, and then listen to this track. It's so good, man. And the main thing that captured me about this song is I'm a man of groove. I'm pretty sure we all know this. I'm a man of groove. I love my funk. I love my groove. I love my drum and bass. And this was so good. As a bass guitarist, I approve. The bass line is amazing. It's such a good thing. I would love to remake that on the bass. If we could ever do an album, man, together, which we're thinking of doing, I think this should be on the cards if we can for a remake, because I want to learn this bass line. It's just also there's so many like I'm looking at the wrong notes here. It's just very. They've used like they've not over filled it with instruments, right? Sometimes with the song there's too many instruments and it kind of ruins it. With this one they've used just the right amount to make it feel
it's
perfect.
Just what's needed, where there's enough like detail. It's not like it's just a keyboard player, a bassist and a drummer. There's multiple synths, multiple keys, but it's kind of toned down to the sense where it's like this just feels right, you know?
100%. It's like a techno sort of vibe to it. I think
it's very. It's. I think it's like what we said earlier. It's like 80s modern and futuristic.
Yeah,
and, especially with some other songs that I'll mention, you can really hear it there. It's. I love it. Yeah, it's great.
I did. I mean, I'm a massive fan of 80s music, the 80s, and this and that comment kind of summed it up nicely. Really, it's like I can feel the 80s sort of, the classic groove. I mean, the 80s were the best. To be fair, I don't like. I mean, music is for me. Today's music is all right. It's just pretty trash compared to 90s music, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it depends on the genre you're looking at, though.
I'm talking genre. Like
obviously, for me, like modern pop music is garbage.
Yeah,
in the sense
that's what I'm saying. In the sense of pop
coming
music,
from like a musical perspective, I feel like I'll obviously look like a lot of times thought goes behind these tracks, and they know what's catchy, they know what's good. But the thing is, like, the layers of complexity to any of these actual tracks, or like, I don't know, I feel like the quality and the passion poured into the music nowadays for like pop music and things like that, it just isn't there.
It's not. I hate pop music.
I feel like you could like bang out a song in a week, whereas bands back in the day would spend months. Like, I don't know. It's
just, to me, pop music today they've kind of mixed up too much with trap, and it's like they play around with a lot of pop music. It's very, they kind of mixed. It's not really pop anymore. Really, pop music for me was the 90s. Now on the 2000s, and R&B and soul. I mean, I'm talking about pop. There's some great tracks being released all the time, but like I'm talking about pop, particularly like things like it's just the modern Ariana Grande sort of.
Obviously, pop is ever changing because pop is popular music. So at the time, the popular music will change. Yeah. But even from like when I was growing up, and then like in the noughties, 2000s, it's like the pop music then was actually really good.
It was.
I feel like after 2010, it slowly started going down. I don't know what happened.
Same. That's what I get the feeling. But back to this track. It's just, this feels like I can get the 80s from this. 100%.
It's a really classic kind of retro, like you said earlier.
Classic retro. Like, I just feel like it feels like retro Japan. Just think about retro Japan and think about this. I love retro Japan. It's just the vibe of aesthetic retro Japan. City pop. I'm a massive fan of city pop. Like, city pop is basically Japanese 80s music. Tatsuro Yamashita.
There might be a song that I can send you later then. You might know it. I think.
Did you put it on the Discord server, your album? Think on the music. You posted something about a Japanese artist, jazz band.
This is something else. There's something that I think.
Okay, and I know that one
specifically. So I'll show you that.
Lovely. But again, it's just, this is perfect, guys, because I'm a massive fan of city pop, and I just want to put out there again, my favourite artist of city pop is Tatsuro Yamashita. Have you heard of him? You've got to have heard of him in the music industry.
I feel like yes, but I'm bad with Japanese names, so I need to.
Yeah, you probably know. He wrote like Ride on Time, which was a really big Japanese 80s song, and that's like everything. I just really love everything about that. I feel
guitar guy.
Is he the guitar guy? I feel like you just googled up Tatsuro Yamashita and there's like a Google pic of him holding a guitar. And he's like,
No, is he like? Is he the female Japanese singer who sang
Plastic Love?
Yeah, is he her husband?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I know him then. Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, yes, I love him and his music. Yeah, it's very good. But anyway, we're going off sidetracked. Yeah, again, that's all I've got to say really. It's an amazing groove to this track and it's atmospheric really well. Yeah. Have you got anything else to say, or should we give this a listen?
No, it's just a great track. We should give it a listen. Yeah.
We should give it a listen. And that was Traffic, Arcade Town. Elijah, on to your second track, and why?
Okay, my second track is called Tokyo. Supposedly, this is Shoji Meguro's favourite track that he's written from any of the Megaten games. So that
interesting.
That means SMT and Persona. So I mean, that is quite interesting. That he's enjoyed writing this one more than any other. But I can kind of see why.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
a lot of people clearly enjoy listening to this, as I can see by the views and the likes on YouTube. And I really can't describe this kind of music, but it is such an amazing mix. And all I know is that I love it, really. You can hear all sorts of synths, keys, guitars, basses. Yes, basses, there are multiple. There's electric bass and synth bass. There's also another synth bass. It doubles up, and then there's a widespread synth atmospheric bass that also doubles up at certain points. I feel like I can probably just hear it because for some albums I've added 2 basses rather than 1, just because I like the way it sounds. So I can click and hear that out. But yeah, there's multiple basses, which is cool. Don't usually hear that.
Don't usually hear that, no.
Yeah, the drums and the filler kind of atmospheric labeled synthesizers as well. Plenty of synths and things. But the guitars, I think, also very weird sounding, but in a good way. Good weird.
Yeah.
I haven't got much to say about this one other than it's incredibly unique. But it's the more you listen to it, the more you're like, this is actually a vibe, like a really good vibe.
I actually had some things to say about this one. The good things, by the way, before you get scared. I honestly, it's a really unique song, and as you just said. But then I read the title and it was Tokyo. Then something clicked in my mind. I was like, that's it. This is what I'm listening to. This is Tokyo. I imagine myself sitting in a taxi, looking out the window, like from Lost in Translation, that scene where I can't believe I've forgotten that famous girl actor who played in everything, but she played in Lost in Translation. Have you seen Lost in Translation?
I have not.
You should. You need to watch it. It's really good. It's got this is going to annoy me, right? I'm typing up the cast for Lost in Translation right now. I'm sorry about this. Lost in Translation. I don't know why I've forgotten this cast. Here we go. Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson. There we go. 2 big actors there. Yeah. I love a good Bill Murray film. And Bill Murray was and Scarlett Johansson are like the known people. It's based in Japan. This entire film. It's an old film. It's an old film. But there's this scene where Scarlett Johansson's looking out the window as she's being not Scarlett Johansson. Sorry, Bill Murray or Bob Harris in the film. He's supposed to be a guy called Bob Harris. It's like a comedy. Rom-com type thing, but he's looking out the window of his taxi, and I love the film Lost in Translation. It's just such a good envision of 90s Japan. This film is a 90s film, and he's looking out the window, and you can see all the big towers of like Tokyo, like Shibuya. You can see all the towers driving, but all the big neon lights, everything, all the clubs and bars, and it's just a really awesome scene in the movie. This vibe gave me a slightly different vibe, but similar to that. I imagine myself sitting in the back of a car or a taxi in Japan, and looking out the window and just seeing all these big, massive glass, futuristic sort of metropolis of Tokyo, and it's a very powerful and immersive track in its own way. So it's not like powerful and immersive as in like a big orchestra, but this is what's so amazing about this track. To me, it was powerful and immersive. With minimal stuff, with minimal instruments again, but it really made me feel immersed. It made me feel like I'm in sort of some massive metropolis city. That's what I thought, and it was so atmospheric. And I love it. I play atmospheric. I used to play the guitar. I used to play a bit. I've probably forgotten most of the guitar, but I used to play the guitar, acoustic guitar, and all the music genre that I genuinely warmed to and played on the acoustic guitar was atmospheric tunes. And I wrote my own atmospheric tunes, which are lost somewhere down the back of my drawer. Which I probably should get out because there were some really powerful tunes I wrote on that guitar. Did indeed. Voice crack. But all I can say really to this is that this is an amazing and powerful, immersive, atmospheric piece that makes me feel like I'm in Tokyo, some sort of massive metropolis.
Yeah, I think that's great that the music can fit the bill so well for the atmospheric style, and it can kind of put you in that headspace of, I'm in Tokyo. And in the game, you're in this giant giant city, like, you know, it's dystopian, but it's still Tokyo, and you still get that kind of vibe from it.
I got a Tokyo vibe, 100%. I didn't necessarily get a dystopian one,
yeah.
kind of, but I felt like I was in the future, which is quite funny because you said futuristic, didn't you? This is an older track. The game isn't like new or anything, but it feels like years into the future. It feels like this is like, I don't know, 50 or 100 years from now, and I'm in Tokyo. This is what it feels like. You know, you got these big, massive glass domes and buildings and everything. The humans are taking over, all the robots in this case. But yeah, you get what I mean. It's just a really futuristic city. That's what I got. Tokyo, which already is kind of futuristic. But anything else to say really? But I kind of blew that at the water.
Summed up pretty well.
Yeah. Well, without further ado, let's give this this immersive, amazing track, Tokyo, a listen. And that was Tokyo from SMT. Now, onto your track 3, Elijah.
So, my third and final track is called Black Market. Now, this is my favourite of the 3. I think before we started recording, Judah was ploughing through some ice cream.
Indeed, I was. A block of ice cream to be exact.
Yeah, for like half an hour he was dying from that. So I was listening to this track on loop while I was just doing other things. And I think this really is like one of those tracks that just doesn't get old for me. I love this track so much. So it starts off with the funky bass line, and then like 80s sounding drum toms, like they hit, and an 80s style Japanese sounding guitar comes in, and it is perfect, honestly.
Yeah.
With like the classical kind of synths, the classic synths, the drums, and then once it calms down, you get like little funk guitar fills, and like palm muted things. It's a great track overall. To think that like all this brilliant music would come out of a 3DS game from all places. It's like, damn. Again, I say it almost every time, but a reminder that these composers are such good, proper musicians.
Talented people.
Yeah, really talented people, and it shouldn't be downplayed just because they make video game music. You know, it should be, I don't know, it should be raised up and given more appreciation and more.
In my opinion, Shin Megami Tensei is not even that heard of. I mean, that's in my opinion. I don't know how big the game
it's not
fan
a
base
giant
is.
franchise,
Because I don't even know it, really. Like, it's just like Yokai Watch, really. It's a really great game, but not enough people played it. Or play it. And it's still going on, but it's only... I think because it didn't do as well for people in the Western society, people were just like kind of stuck with Pokemon. They released...
Persona outdid SMT, like classic SMT. Like, a lot more people know about Persona. Like, so many people know about Persona.
Yeah.
But then, like, half of those people, maybe less than that, have actually played...
Shin Megami Tensei. Because actually with Yokai, similar to Yokai Watch there, Yokai Watch 4 eventually came out. Yokai Watch 3 also came out, but it's very rare to get your hands on. You can now get it on the eShop, guys. It's very rare. It's actually very rare. It wasn't sold that well at all, but now it's like free for piracy and stuff. Unfortunately, because it was such a great game and it's worth at least 40 quid in my opinion. But the new one for the Switch came out, Yokai Watch 4, but it was only released in Japan, so it's all in Japanese, and they didn't release it further outside of Japan, which is very sad because, I think I said this before, I'm a massive Yokai fan and Yokai Watch fan. It's just very sad. But to me, the whole point really is that SMT isn't. It sounds like a great game. The music alone makes it sound like a great game because the amount of effort people have actually put in and styles and tastes, and it's just like
this music's very tasteful. That's a good way of saying it as well.
Tasteful, it tastes good. Really, yeah. Let them cook. But to be fair, I love that phrase. I don't know why.
You've been saying it so often, man.
I know. If you listen to the main episode,
Elijah,
Yeah.
You probably watched one like Connor like CWVA stream.
Yeah.
And then like he said it 5 times, and now you're saying it like 20 times.
Yeah. Well, actually, funny, I didn't get it from Connor or Trash Taste, even though they kind of came out. It's funny. Have you ever a sort of slight tangent before we talk about Black Market? A slight tangent. Have you ever had this thing where you notice something that's quite big, or you notice a celebrity? It's like a deja vu thing. You notice someone, or you notice a word that you've never heard before, but it's stuck in your brain, and it keeps reoccurring when you hear about it. Have you heard that before? It's like a weird thing. So say, let's just give me an idea. So there's a massive celebrity called Mark Jevis. Give me a massive tangent thing, right? I need to get this off my head. Imagine there's a massive celebrity guy called Mark Jevis, right? And you don't know how big he is or anything. You never heard of him in your life before, and then one day you hear about Mark Jevis, and you watch a couple of his stuff, and then throughout the rest of your life, you start to hear things about Mark Jevis, and you're like, as soon as I heard about Mark, I never heard that before, but now I'm hearing the same thing. It's really weird, man. I don't know why. It's like a deja vu thing. Have you had that before?
No.
You've not? No, because I was like, I'm getting a massive theory, and you're like, no. I do not know.
No, I haven't. Sorry, mate.
Okay, well, it's not the let me cook thing.
It sounds weird. Interesting.
Yeah, because like my friend from college was saying about let him cook. That's how I found out. I never found out from anything else. My friend was like, I was interrupted. Like, no, let me cook. And then I started hearing people say let me cook all the time. I never heard it. It's like that. I started hearing.
Oh right, yeah, okay.
I was like,
I get it. Okay, you hear it once, and then suddenly everyone knows about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay, I have, yeah.
It's that sort of, it's like a weird deja vu brain thing. I have no clue why. It's like, once you know about it, everyone knows about it.
Inexplainable, yeah.
It's inexplainable, but it's just, so basically that's how it works. And then he said it, and then I didn't say it till I started, everyone just started saying, let him cook. So
I feel like it's one of those things that just kind of appears online all of a sudden, and everyone's just saying it out of nowhere. Like
no one knows why.
Like, what are the origins of it? Who did it first? Not a clue, but it just happened, and now everyone says it. It's just like, okay.
It's very strange, man. Very strange. Anyway, let me cook. So, Black Market. I love the atmosphere for this song because it's called Black Market, and in my opinion, it's really cool because I got like the bass is really groovy, and the thing I got about this song is it was like a shady groove. I felt like it wasn't like villainous, but it was shady. I felt like it was one of those characters in a movie when you can't tell if they're good or bad. They're like a weird person. They're like the person in between. They're cunning, and they're like for those of you who played Lost in Future, Don Paolo. He's very strange because he's kind of a bad guy, but at the same time he doesn't really do anything good. But no, he's then again he's not against you. Like he's weird.
Yeah.
They're in between.
They have their own agenda, kind of thing.
Yeah, they have their own agenda, right? I got that sort of feel to it for some reason. It was describing that sneaky character like Shuji Hanma from Tokyo Revengers. I'm pretty sure you don't know who that is, but there's many different kind of. That's what I got. I got a shady feeling to it. Oh, they're shady. Like there's something. There's a groovy shadiness. Like it's the black market, It's the crime. It's the shady. It's the mafia. That's it. It's the mafia. It's the shady deals.
Yeah. I think definitely get that vibe as well. Like kind of going down a back alley, and you're still in this kind of the same. It's still got the same vibes, and you're still like, I'm still in this. You know you're in Tokyo and stuff like that. You still get that kind of feel from it. But you're not in like the safe part of Tokyo anymore. Now you're in the
red light district.
Somewhere like that. Where like you said, shady, simple as that.
Yakuza's gonna come out and chop your head off. Finger off, actually. That's they do, don't they?
I think it's I think this one encapsulates the most the sense of like past, present, and future, because there's a lot of 80s influence clearly here. Like the drums just are 80s sounding. The guitars have that 80s sound to them, although what they're playing is very Japanese, but the actual guitars themselves sound very 80s. The synths, these are like the most classic synthwave 80s kind of things you can get. Like it is very 80s. It's still written in a way that makes you feel like you're in this weird futuristic post-apocalyptic thing. I don't know.
I get that though. It's really strange. It's talent here.
Yeah, it's like that's well written, very clever.
That's like level 100 hard how to make this music. So, excuse me, I want you to write a piece of music that makes you feel like you're in the 80s, but you're like 1,000 years into the future at the same time. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
how are you gonna do that? Yeah, exactly.
Like, imagine if the 80s was in 2,000 years. Okay,
but it wasn't.
Imagine it though.
Okay. Yeah, and then they've done it. I'm like, wow, that's some talent, man.
Shoji Meguro, one of the best video composers of our time, honestly. He's so good.
What other stuff has he done? Anything else more noticeable that's known by a lot of people?
I mean, yeah, Persona. I mean, he did like all of Persona 5, 3, 4, other than lyrics, which Lotus Juice did, and the rapping and obviously singing things. He didn't sing, but he wrote the melody lines and that. So he wrote all the music. It's brilliant.
Nice. So,
brilliant mastermind.
I got a question for you. Which one out of, let's say, so you've got Persona, the Persona series, and you've got the SMT series. Which one has the better music, in your opinion?
Oh, that's very difficult. Because, that's really hard. Okay, because they're all kind of. Persona's very varied. Every Persona game kind of has a different genre that it focuses on. So, like, just using 3, 4, and 5 as an example. 3 is very rap and hip hop kind of inspired.
Okay,
4 is very J-pop inspired, and then 5 is like acid jazz funk kind of thing. So there's such a variety there, and there's some of the best video game soundtracks like ever come from Persona. But then for me personally, I think my personal enjoyment, I enjoy listening to SMT Nocturne. That's the third one.
Oh, I see.
And this SMT 4, I enjoy listening to these games, the soundtracks, quite a bit more because it's got a different feeling to me. Maybe because they're older, maybe because it's just a different style. But I like these a lot more. Although I will say, the Persona music is better.
I mean,
objectively, it's better. But I prefer personally. I prefer listening to this. Although I do listen to Persona music every single day. Quite literally. Nice. Like, it's in my top 5 most listened people on Spotify every year.
Every trying his own music now.
Yes.
Objectively, I think that this is better than my favourite music I listen to every day.
I know, it's a weird thing to say. Like, I listen to this stuff every day and I love it, and it's like one of my favourite composers and like musicians of all time. But I prefer his other work to the work I listen to all the time. I know it's a weird thing to say.
It is, because I thought you'd be listening to that all the time then. If it's like
no, I actually don't listen to the SNT music that often, but when I do, it's a treat. I love it. I feel like maybe that's why I enjoy it more, because I'm giving it to myself.
Treat yourself more.
Maybe giving it to myself in small dosages is like the best way to go. Like,
that's fair enough. Like, if you over listen to a track I find that it can if you over listen to a track, it loses value. I do that. That's my worst thing. I find a track that's like, that's so bloody good, and I listen to it for like 100 times in one day. I mean, serious. I'll play it on repeat. I'm like, that's a groove, and then by the end of the week, I'm like, I'm bored of this. So and even if I leave it for another year and then listen to it again, I'm like, still not hitting. I'm like, it's weird how music fades out like that. It's just
for me, usually, like, if I listen to something too much, I will take a step back, change genre, come back to it later. But I think with Persona music, I've never actually taken a step back from it. I've always enjoyed it, always loved it. But just for some reason, I prefer SNT music.
Interesting. That's an interesting take, that is. But to be fair,
I think the audience, having listened to these 3 tracks alone, like, if you listen to the rest of the OST, you will agree that like this stuff's really, really good. Really, really good. So
it is really good.
Probably agree with me, but we'll see.
Well, I'm very interested to see which wins this time over titles as well, which is my title's more big than yours, but we'll see. But anyway, without further ado, should we give Black Market a listen?
Yes, we should.
Yes, let's go. and that was Black Market, Elijah. We kind of said our overalls at the beginning.
I kind of forgot that we hadn't played it. So I was just talking, thinking it was my closing statement, not realizing that we hadn't actually played the track yet.
So you
sorry, listeners.
Sorry, listeners. Elijah's dumb. I'm joking. He's not. But are you kind of done then with the track? Or
I pretty much said. We both pretty much.
We're
in agreement. It is a great soundtrack overall.
It is great. Again, this week's debate's not going to really be a debate, I don't think. I mean, it depends on you.
More mutual appreciation.
Yeah, I like your tracks. I've personally not anything really bad to say. But anyway, I think it's time to move on to my tracks. So my tracks. Well, my OCT first. If you want to hear that first, my chosen OCT is none other but the most nostalgic game to most people our age. If you're 18, 17, 16 listening to this right now, you probably do agree with us. This is a very nostalgic game for you. Mario and Sonic and the Winter Olympic Games for the DS. And this, of course, the music is literally not that different at all from the Wii. Literally, if you listen to the Wii version...
It's the same, just different quality, that's it.
Yeah, just different quality, that's all. And, basically. And
I'm still laughing at... I can't imagine the damn thumbnail of like Mario and Sonic running towards the screen, and then on the other side just some I don't know what the thumbnail would be. It just the stark difference, the contrast.
It's gonna be so weird, man. That thumbnail.
Very different types of games.
I'll up the graphics to 4K on each one, and everyone like, "What's this? New games?" No, it's just up the graphics. The power of Photoshop. But Mario Sonic and the Winter Olympic Games, very interesting mix going up against SMT. I've got to say, very interesting. Now this came out years ago, like back in 2007. I literally can't be asked to type it up. A long time ago. It may have been a bit earlier, actually, like 2011, actually, guys. But sorry, I might have messed it up. But it's Nintendo DS. It was a prime game for the Nintendo DS. It had so much stuff going on. And I've got a question. I've never played the Wii version. I'm guessing it's the same. You had adventure tours, right? In the Wii? In the Wii version?
Did,
yeah, so you went all around those lands rescuing the winter spirits?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that was my favourite part.
I played the normal Olympic games more than I played Winter Olympic Games. However, I did still spend a lot of time in the Winter Olympic Games. So.
I played Winter Olympic Games to death, actually. It was like the third game I ever got off my DS. So like Mario Kart and this. I got it for Christmas. I got this game for Christmas when I was a little boy, and it's very nostalgic for me. I immediately unwrapped the paper, got it out, started playing it all for the rest of that Christmas night. Forgot to eat all the Christmas dinner. Just played it all the rest of the week. Played it for like the rest of the year. And the reason why is because I wasn't that taken up with the Olympics at all. The Olympics was fun, but it wasn't as fun as the Adventure Tours. The Adventure Tours was the GOAT of this game. The Adventure Tours was the best because it was literally like a whole storyline, and you were visiting islands and collecting snow spirits and playing all these different characters, and it was just so fun. And you had every single like character that you could imagine in Mario and Sonic. You had Dry Bowser involved, and like Bowser and Eggman teamed up and stole these snow spirits. And you had to you had to collect clues, and it's a very deep story to it. It was an amazing thing. It was all in one way better than the actual Olympics themselves. And like you collected trivia throughout the way, and you did. Of course, the Olympic Games were involved. Like when you got challenged by an enemy, you would fight, you would do like an Olympic battle with them, and then you would earn star crystals, whatever it was, I've forgotten how it works, and then you would have to like revive all the snow spirits, and there's like different islands, and there's like, it's basically, you run around as if you're playing, it's a 3D Mario, and so you can switch between Mario and Sonic, and you can switch between characters, and they have different abilities, and you got to save them all from Bowser and Eggman, basically. And it was amazing. I absolutely love it. And I don't play it anymore, of course, but I loved it.
Yeah.
I can't hype it up enough. I feel like it's just been lost. That was the best thing about the game, was the adventure tours. Like the Olympic Games were fun and all, but no. Like, think again, the adventure tours were put way more effort into than anything else, because they had the Olympic matches in them as well as a full-on storyline. It might as well have been released separately. You know what I mean? Like, it's an actual, it's a storyline adventure game, and it was so good, and the music was better in this. Like, all the tracks have chosen. The first two tracks, really. I mean, the second track which is called Enemy Appears. I kind of spoiled that already, but it's the music on the General Olympic Games is really nice, but the Adventure Tours themes, they top it for me. That's what really tops it for me out of all the music. It's not the generic sort of cheesy, music. It's really nice, really good for what they had. Really good for the DS music, because it wasn't live band, it was synthesized music. So it was really, really well put together, and it almost sounded live. So I was like, what? Yeah, but anyway, that's kind of my little overall on the game. I mean, I can say go play it, but it's a very old game. If you're into playing old games,
I feel like it's more that if you experienced it at the time, like as a kid, you'd have been like, yeah, it was great. But nowadays, it's like,
it's not really a game to play.
Maybe not, yeah.
It's just too old. It's like locked in my memories forever, that game. So I have this fond memory of me and my dad and my sister playing the snowboarding. We're linked up on our DSs. Like my sister had a DS and I had a DS. Like hers was pink and mine was blue. And my dad would he was addicted to the snowboarding in the game. And like the three of us would all team up and play snowboarding on the settees. That was when I was 10. This was years ago, and it was that's nostalgia hitting me right now. So again, this game holds a dear place in my heart for memories. So that definitely does carry a bit of weight here. But I'd like to hear from you guys if you just have no clue at all about this game and you hear the music fresh, no nostalgia tied to it. I want to know what you guys think. But yeah, any overall thoughts about the game I've chosen, Elijah? Any good memories with it?
I mean, yeah, I guess pretty similar memories of playing on the Wii with my mum, my brother, things like that. Just in our old flat in London.
Yeah.
Just playing other Wii games as well, like all the kind of Mario Sonic games.
Nice.
Yeah, I got fond memories with it. Yeah. It's one of those games that I never thought the music was anything to look at, but you showed it to me today. I'm like, okay.
This is interesting. It's decent. Yeah. No, you've got to think though. With what they had, the resources they had, this is good. Yeah, they did well. The composing was done well. It's very nice. It's good. It's good for the game.
I think it's interesting to think about is I feel like comparing it to my soundtrack, they're written for different things. That's what you got to think about, I suppose.
Yeah.
Is your one? It's not bad. It was written for that type of game. So you're not meant to be expecting the best music in the world when it's written for those kind of this old, mini games for kids and stuff. It's not. Yeah. Whereas SMT4 is meant to be more heavy, kind of. I don't know.
Yeah, it's different genres, but it's a nice clash. I think it's very interesting to see what wins.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting clash. Yeah, indeed.
Indeed.
So why don't you give us a rundown of
my first track?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for my first track, I have chosen the basically. Now I spent hours Elijah, you can root for me. I was taking hours. I always chose the game. But I was there's so many good tracks in this game. All Adventure Tours mainly, guys. That's what I was buried in. There's groove, there's vibes, there's nice ones. I want to keep saying. I think Elijah, I think you would marinate as well with this, because it's the Adventure Tours I'm talking about. That's the highlight of this entire game, and that's the music highlight for me. It's genuinely fun for all ages. You don't have to be 5 to play it. You can be 13 and enjoy that, or 15 or older, enjoy Adventure Tours. It's genuinely a great story game. But main menu is that is the sum of the entire game, the summary. So this will start up when you start the main menu as guests, I guess. But when you start the game, that's what plays basically. What I like about this song, let's start off. It's there's so many instruments, and that's quite good, and it's very interesting. It's kind of a powerful and energetic song for it. And I also remember, guys, I seem to be hyping it up. I'm hyping it up 100%. But this has got to think. This is actually when people didn't have full on. They didn't have the resources to record a full live band and make it nice. It's the downgraded little DS. They can't do much with that. This is they've got synthesizers and they've made this. I was that's really nice. They've done really well. But there's powerful and energetic trumpets, and it's a massive orchestra. There's so many instruments involved, mainly orchestral instruments. It's really good for the DS. It sounds like winter, 100%. They've got the bells. The bells make it sound like winter. This is what they've mastered this entire game. All the soundtracks, apart from the second one, really, but most of these soundtracks, all of them really, they've mastered the winter sound the sort of sound effect to it. You've got that winter feeling. They master that really well with the bells and the timing of when they put the bells and the chimes and the everything and the snowflakes. Well, it's not an instrument, is it? But with the bells.
I mean, anything could be an instrument if you put your mind to it, I guess.
Yeah, just put the snowflake, just record it hitting the ground. Like, yeah, this is the new sound.
Very, very quiet snowflake hitting the ground sound. Yeah.
Oh man, I was getting so carried away with the game. Like, yeah, and the snowflakes. Yeah, 100%, definitely a great instrument. But yeah, but you got the bells. I get the snow. Again, all jokes aside, I get the snowflake feeling from it. I get the falling snowflakes, the winter trees. Not the winter trees. I'm making no sense. The snowy and white trees. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's just this kind of. But that's for later on. Wrong note. I'm really sorry about this, guys. My brain's dead. But it sounds like winter, and it sounds energetic. It's Olympic Games, right? Everyone's fighting against each other to win this Olympic Games. It's going to sound energetic. It needs to be powerful, and they made that really, really well. And it changes up. I like the mid part, where it's like dun 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 dun. I like that bit, and they've got the drums beating like boom 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 boom, and it's like really nice. These big, big drums, and yeah. It changes up quite quickly, then it loops, of course, because it's the main menu screen. It's not going to play the massive, nice, long song for you, is it? But it does really well for what it's done. Any thoughts?
I think.
Yeah.
Actually, okay. Which one's your favourite, by the way?
My favourite. Oh, actually, trying to think. Track 3.
Okay. Yeah. We have the same favourite, then. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the main menu, this one, I think is actually really pretty. I think it's a very nice theme. Mm-hmm. It's definitely like what I would expect from the title theme of the game. Like if I didn't play it and I just read Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympics Games and I heard this, I'd be like, yeah, okay, makes sense. It fits the bill pretty well.
It fits the bill.
Yeah. I like the instruments used here and the kind of old DS sounds. I'm a fan of that kind of retro feel. So
like a scratchy sort of DS sound.
Yeah. So it's quite good overall. I think this is a pretty good pick. It's not mind blowing, but like it's good for the game it's in. It's good.
Yeah. It's not mind blowing in the sort of sense that compared to all the music in the gameplay world, but for the game, that's what I'm saying. It's
for the game, it's good. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, out of all the others. Yeah.
But yeah, I like it. I think it's good. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, again, there's not much more to say on it from my side. I think it's just a really good track and we should give it a listen.
Yep.
Do you think? Mm-hmm. Let's go. And that was the main menu from Mario, Sonic and the Winter Olympic Games. Olympic Winter Games. Blah. Right, now on to track 2. Now this is exclusively for the Adventure Tools, this music track. It's called Enemy Appears Adventure Tools, of course. And that's when, of course, this theme plays when Bowser and Eggman capture the snow spirits and when they appear and they destroy the world and make you sad and steal your toys and everything else. What Bowser and Eggman do, it should make you sad, isn't it? But this by far, in my opinion, this is a boss track, right? It's one of the most epic, best boss battle, old retro themes I've ever heard. It's groovy but chaotic. It's got like it's got a good groove to it. It's got that bass that goes dum 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 dum, and you've got like then all of a sudden you've got these little tripping noises that come in, but like I can't do it justice, Those little replaying the song for you with my own mouth, rubbish. But they basically make it really. They really do layer it so nicely. They layer this song nicely, and it builds up. So once it's got the first bit, then it lays up to the top bit. And it's like dun, 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 and the bass goes higher. Then it goes back down, dun, 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 and it's really good. Honestly, a groovy, really nice boss enemy track. I think I love it. I really do like it. And it's hard to out of the three, it's not my favourite, but it was hard. Like, if track 3 wasn't here, then this would be my favourite. This is an amazing track, and it's just so good. I love the groove and the mix, and it's groovy but chaotic again, and it kind of sums up Bowser and Eggman. If they ever came together, and which they did, they came together and decided to make everyone sad, then this is what sort of song would play, I think. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, yeah, I think it's interesting. Yeah, I like. I don't know. It's a really unique track. I think because it's got kind of a the repetitive, simple, but like kind of catchy bass and drum thing.
Yeah,
like the marching snare pattern. You got that, and you got the horns, which I think is quite nice. I like there's a tuba in the right ear. You don't often hear a tuba in a video game track. That's quite cool.
Nice.
I think it's I don't know what to say. It didn't make me go like wow or anything. Whereas the first one was like, oh, this is really pretty. This one was kind of like, okay, I think it's not like, I don't know, to me personally, it's not amazing.
I see.
Okay, the piano that comes in for that one bit, as much as I enjoyed dissonance, I don't like that kind of dissonance.
Okay.
That's a bit like
That's fair.
But overall, it's not bad at all. It's and for what it is, I think it's all right. But it's only okay for me.
Yeah, I was quite interested to see what you say to this, because I think it's just a very good boss battle theme. To be fair, it's not like I wanted to have a mix. So, like when you chose Pokemon Black and White, for instance, that one, you chose like Black City, which was chaos, and I was like, and I didn't really like it at all. Yeah, and I was like, what is this?
And I guess this is your version of that.
Yeah, basically it's like that. It's a unique track. It's got a unique.
And I guess because I haven't played it, I can't really fully appreciate it. But yeah, I guess just from listening to it alone, I can't say I'm a massive fan of it. But I don't dislike it. That's the thing. I don't dislike it. I just think it's like borderline okay.
Yeah, that's interesting, because it does set, the scene is set really well actually. Like if you play, of course you would respect it more, but it's very well put together. This whole song and the scene is put together well with the picture, and it's by far one of my favourite boss themes of old time. By the way, not all time, old time. There's better ones, definitely. Xenoblade, but it's out of this lot. I think it's great. I think they've done really well, and a very unique track. Unique is the word for this one, but
definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't mean that in a negative way.
I know, it's funny. It's unique. definitely unique. Anyway, that's Elijah's thought. It's definitely unique, definitely. But without further ado, let's give this definitely unique track a listen. Right then, that was track 2, Enemy Appears, I believe. Yeah, Enemy Appears. Now, on to track 3, my favourite track, and that is Gallery. Gallery. This plays when this is also Adventure Tools. When you click on the gallery, it displays you with all these trivial informations about all the old Olympic Games, which is extremely and utterly total boring in my opinion. I didn't really enjoy it. I'm not interested in history. At all the Olympic Games, to say the least. But it was there, and I never, a lot in the Adventure Tours, you can sometimes collect in like under plants and barrels, and whatever. You can collect little pieces of information about the Olympic Games if you ever give a toss about it. And if you do, you can click onto the gallery, and you can basically see all these nice little trivia things. And in that section, it's called the gallery. It's like a nice big town hall, and you walk in. This music track plays, and all the rubbish, Olympic history rubbish aside, this is a really nice. I don't like it. I'm not interested in it at all. But the music.
It's so respectful. Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. Yeah. Man, I couldn't care less. Man.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. It's but yeah, it's the when I would walk into the gallery, not to look at the plaques or anything. I'd walk into the gallery just to listen to the music.
It sounds like imagine that in a real world scenario.
Yeah.
I went to a museum not to like look at things or read, just to listen to the music that they have in the elevator. I just really like the science museum. They have really good like elevator music. I just want to That's what it sounds like, right?
That is basically this in a game.
Oh,
yes, correct. I don't like. Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. I mean, Elijah, you might be interested in Olympic history. I have no clue. In 1989, an old man did a pogo stick over a wall.
I mean, I think it's useful information to know.
Rubbish.
One day you could tell your grandkids that and be like, yeah, and they won't care, but at least they'll know. You're passing on information from generation to generation. I think that's important.
I mean, that's probably important for the museums, not for my kids, because I'm pretty sure that was told to me when I was 5 years old, and I was like, I do not care. But yeah, basically, I walked into the museum, or the gallery, and this music track played. And yeah, it's lovely. It's a beautiful track, and it's got a lot of nostalgia tied to it, which kind of makes it more powerful in this sense. But the reason why I like it, it's got like I love reminiscent music, and this was a reminiscent track. It had a lot of reminiscent. It was like happy, but sad. It changed up a bit. It was kind of like reminiscing on the past. It seemed like it. It seemed like, in those scenes like anime where it goes all cloudy, and it's like when I was a young kid. And it's like it goes to like where you said like an old house, and they're all playing in the yard, and then a car hits them or something.
Yeah, the obligatory flashback backstory kind of thing.
The flashback, yeah. It's like that. It's similar to that sort of scene, music they play. When you're a young little boy playing, when things were good, when you were in a field running around, crime didn't exist.
But then the Titans attacked.
Then the Titans attacked my family, and I was gone. I was orphaned, and basically that's sort of thing that would happen. But this is the sort of music that I play in those anime scenes, like a very sort of quaint, happy, but reminiscent of the past. And now the it's very pleasant to listen to, and nostalgic and elegant. So the thing about this music track that makes it the most nice, I think. I'm a massive fan of Christmas. I mean, if you listen to the podcast, you would know that Rowan is probably more. So that he's counting Christmas down at this bloody time of year. I honestly would give him a medal.
He's a maniac. He's
a maniac. He is.
I love Christmas, but that's just unhealthy. Come on.
Yeah, I know. He's like in July, sweating on his bedroom, the mosquitoes are flying around. He's like, Christmas is soon, don't worry. Hold on, only 368 days left. But that's what he does, literally. Ryan is a fan of Christmas, to say the least. That's an understatement. But I am also a fan of Christmas. And that I've also got my bad spot where I think about Christmas too early. End of October for me is Christmas time. Not Christmas time, but when I start listening to the music and getting into the Christmas spirit. End of October though, beginning of November, that's my time for music and stuff. But then that is very... I'm a massive fan of Christmas, but I buy my family and friends the gifts literally the night before Christmas. That's how... literally the night before Christmas, which is very unorganised. But, but with this track, it's got a very Christmassy feeling to it. And it's winter Olympic Games, right? So you're going to have that Christmassy winter, like, bell sort of feeling. But this is really strange. You're a musician, Elijah, so you would know this, probably, but... Do you ever find when you listen to a music track from your childhood or from anything really, but it's usually from your past, you listen to a track that's nostalgic to you, and it conjures up a memory out of nowhere from the past when you were younger maybe, but that has nothing to do with the situation of that memory. So like, every time I listen to this track, I think of my great-grandparents' house and me about 7 years old sitting in their big living room at Christmas time. Every time I listen to this track, that's what I think of. And I'm like, I never played the game in their living room.
I have the same thing. There's a Mario Kart track, one of the winter ones, and I forget which one it is. But it's like it's that
amazing.
And it always makes me think of the time when I was really young, and I went to Hyde Park in London, and there was a Winter Wonderland, which is like a kind of theme park / you can buy stuff and go and look at stuff. So I was really young at the time, and I'm always brought back to that memory whenever I hear that, and I'm like, it has nothing to do with that at all. Like, I heard the song maybe at a similar age, like when I was at home playing on the Wii, but like I was out doing something else, so that music was not playing there.
Exactly.
But I just got that memory like connected for some reason.
Yeah. Nice. I thought I was going to go down a different route. Like, oh, Hyde Park, definitely not 420 when you're that age. Not good. But, I was like, where's this going, Elijah? What on earth? Thankfully not. It was a completely innocent event with winter. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. What you just proven there is what's happened here. I'm like, it's like that. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, why am I getting this random memory from the past when I never had anything to do with this music track? Isn't that true? A track. I never played the game in the house, as far as I know. May have done. I don't know. It's just really strange. Yeah. It brings up a memory, and music is very nice in that sort of way. It can do that. It unlocks doors that you never knew they were there.
I feel like I've seen a few YouTube shorts talking about the actual scientific connection between hearing something and that linking up to a literal memory in the part of your brain, and that can then play something for you. And I think that's really. I need to rewatch that somewhere. Yeah, it's really interesting. I recommend everyone kind of go look up the science behind that, because it is worth your time to kind of know how it all works.
I've always been quite a deep person on that level. I'm always interested in the ins and outs of the human brain, like deja vu. Why do we get deja vu? What are dreams? I'm always that sort of person. So this really interests me. I'm always looking up on those theory videos that usually scare you to death. They're either in 5 years aliens are going to come and kill everyone. That's what they are usually.
The amount of people I've seen on the street holding up a sign being like, Jesus Christ is returning in 2030, run. I'm like, why would I run if he's coming back anyway?
Run? Really?
Some of them even say our Saviour Jesus Christ is returning in whatever year they put.
What?
And then some of them will be like, run. I'm like, why am I running? It's like, you saying I've sinned and he's going to come and kill me? What are you doing?
Oh, I can imagine everyone just sits aside and they're like, oh, we need to run. Jesus Christ is going to come in that direction.
You know the game
Doom. Run this way.
Do you know the game Doom?
Yes, I do know the game Doom.
Yeah, Doom Eternal. I just imagine the Doom metal music playing, and then Jesus just teleports down from heaven somewhere, just starts killing everyone.
Yeah,
why would that happen?
Slaughter everyone. Exactly, that'd be hilarious. Because Jesus is always associated with holy stuff, isn't he? Because he's holy. He needs to be a nice guy. And
he only did good things.
He only did good things. So why are we saying we need to run away from him?
So then why? I don't know why there's really extremist people, extremist religious people,
extremist religion people, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, he's gonna kill us all. Why would he do that? In what world? Why would he be as much as I'm a Christian, but I don't believe.
Yeah.
What in 3 years, in 7 years, God's randomly gonna send down a flood and just kill everyone.
No, I don't think that.
Time to reset, I guess. That's not what happened,
I mean, we respect all religions in this podcast, but I respect.
Of course, I respect all religion.
Of course, but
I don't think anyone.
I don't think that's a religion.
You're just paranoid.
I come from a Christian background as well, and I know for a fact that the Bible doesn't say, "Oh, Jesus is going to come down and kill everybody in 2 years."
Yeah, it even says,
in 2030.
Because people a lot of people, Christians, believe Jesus will return one day.
Yeah.
But it will be to save us once again if we need saving.
Right.
And not for the sake of murder is not saving. I don't get where these people. I don't know where they get their ideas from. I don't know why they feel the need to go on the street and warn everyone.
Yeah.
But it was quite entertaining to see that. Yeah.
That is insane. It makes my day. When they're having a sad day, just look at a sign and someone's being run in that direction because Jesus Christ is going to come down from the sky and murder everyone in that direction.
Yeah.
What?
Sometimes I want to go up to them and ask them sorry, what made you think this? But then I don't want them to be explaining to me for hours why the world is ending.
They go on tangents. The ones that get me are Jehovah's Witnesses. They are so annoying. They piss me off. I'm sorry if you're a Jehovah's Witness listening to this. I'm sorry, but why do you have to speak to me for hours and hours? I'll just give me a leaflet. And I'll
feels more like a cult than a religion sometimes because they're trying to induct people all the time. Join us.
Join our
and
cult.
I get it. For some people, I think a lot of Islamic people and Christians, they see converting someone as obviously it's a really good thing if you feel I want to convert someone to my religion, save them.
It's upheld.
Judgment Day comes, whatever it may be. You want to do that, but the way that some people go about it It's just so wrong. It's like,
so weird.
Join us or you will die. It's like, no.
If you don't join our cult, and to be fair, I've always thought Jehovah's Witnesses are a bit. Sorry, I don't know. And I've got college friends who are like, their parents Jehovah's Witnesses, and they're like, they're weirdos. I'm like, yeah, I agree. But yeah, and I'm like, yeah. So it's they're the ones.
Wait, how did we get to this point? We're talking about we went to Olympic Games. We're talking about Jehovah's Witnesses.
Jesus and Jehovah's Witnesses coming down and getting people to join a cult.
Back on track.
Yeah, back on track. Yeah, don't worry about this, guys. He's not going to come back anytime soon. I don't think. Tell anyone. But back on track. Back to the gallery. Yeah, sorry, I was laughing at the fact that Anyway, back to the gallery. I think it unlocks memories of my past, and it's very Christmassy. I feel like I'm in Christmas. Like I feel like a winter wonderland as well. It's got like a winter wonderland feeling. I'm a massive fan of the film The Snowman. Like, do you know the film? That famous film, The Snowman? Yeah, I watched that when I was younger. Like, we're walking in the air. Preview from me.
I play it every Christmas.
Same. Yeah. It's a tradition. So I played it since I was born. I've got my parents like, watch this. This will now be inducted.
Tried making you an opera singer. That's what they did.
That's what they tried, and it didn't work. Unfortunately, as you just witnessed. I'm not going to do it again.
It worked for me, but then I had puberty.
I used to scream. I loved screaming when I was little or younger. I would go like, "Wow!" And now I can't do that because my voice is broken.
There was a really weird phase where me and my friends all tried metal screaming because we were in a band anyway.
Yeah.
And then we couldn't do it, and then suddenly for like a few days, we all could do it, and we were just out of nowhere really good. And then like a few days later, it just went, and we couldn't do it again.
That's interesting.
We were so confused. Yeah. It's like when you nail something accidentally and then you forget how because you didn't learn it properly. You don't know how you did it, so you can't redo it again.
That's quite interesting because I know how to metal scream. I'm being very that's one of my talents. Now, I would do it for you, but it would break my microphone. It would make my mum run up the stairs and chop my head off. That's what would happen. I'm not going to do it.
Unless you can do it in a safe way. I highly recommend people don't practice metal screaming unless they know exactly what they're doing.
It's hard
because it will kill your voice.
It'll kill your voice. I can't do it quietly. I'm sorry. I can't do it on the podcast. It'll have to be a special. I have to like get 50,000 listeners or something. I don't know. It has to be a big thing. Judah's gonna scream his house out and watch the
scream.
Like, I don't know. No, I can't do it.
It's not a golem from...
I'm not going to do it. It's not going to work. But I can metal scream. I'll do it for you when I go to London. We'll do it in the middle of London. How about that? Challenge. I screamed in the middle of London. YouTube video. Anyway, we keep on
if you lose the Nintendo Music Wars on our vlog, I'll just make you scream the loudest in London.
That's a fair point. Would you actually make me do that,
the new Dick and Dom screaming stuff in public,
I would actually do that, though. Like, I'm that sort of guy. Like, for filming and content, I'll go to the middle of Leicester Square and just go, and just go straight through it and see what happens. I get police come and say, "Excuse me, sir, should be doing."
I'll make you do it at Buckingham Palace, right in front of a royal guard.
See what they do. Make way for the Queen's Guard.
We're not allowed to move, other than obviously when they're marching, they could stand there and take it, so you can scream in their faces.
Yeah, I'll scream in their face. They do stamp though, don't they? They like stamp and go.
Oh yeah, of course. If they're marching, they will just plow through you. So
yeah,
I've seen so many of those that it's so fun to watch. Like idiot tourists just standing there taking a selfie, and they go, "Make way for the Royal Guard," and then they just don't move, and they look so bewildered, and they get pushed out the way, and they cry, or they're like, "How dare you do that?" It's like he said, "Make way," and he has to walk a certain path. Yeah, they're kind of a dickhead for doing it. But obviously they're going to enjoy doing that because they have to stare at you, like poking them all day, taking pictures.
They enjoy it, man.
Of course they run you over with their giant,
Oh man, I would love it if my job was to sit on a horse and wear nice big red clothes and scream at people, just all day. I'd love that.
Crowds.
Yeah,
quite fun. Yeah.
Move aside or I'm gonna kill you.
Anyway, again, back to gallery.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on the gallery?
No, it's same as you. I feel like it's a very Christmassy thing. Whenever I hear it, I feel like I'm in a giant store, and it's Christmas, and I'm buying things for people. That's what it gives me. It's a very nice feeling. It's quite it's like a 30-second loop, this track. But obviously it's a DS game. It's to be expected. But I just really like this one. It's very calming, very positive.
Yeah.
They definitely nailed the winter vibe, which is obviously important.
They have, yeah.
There's a nice use of orchestral instruments, strings, sleigh bells, woodwinds, like a clarinet at one point. And I think there's a bassoon doing the thing in the left ear. But I can't really tell. It could be a synth. It's hard to tell.
I mean,
board games. So it could be a synthesizer, or it could be a bassoon sound font. Either way, it sounds nice. So yeah, but overall, it's a very simple track, but it's very lovely. I think it works very well. It got stuck in my head for a while as well. So
stuck in my head.
Very catchy.
It's very you get stuck in my head, and the good thing about this track is it's reminiscent, and the reason why it's reminiscent is because it plays in a gallery, and it's kind of reminiscing about the real Olympic Games, which I don't care about, but you know,
I still
hammering that point. But the Olympic Games, right? It keeps going back to the Olympic Games, right? And you think about it, it's reminiscing about all the times when people fell off the snow slopes and broke their legs, you know, all the times when those people gathered around there back in 1968. Yeah, and it's got that music. Yeah, it's reminiscing on the past. Yeah.
It's a very nice track overall. I think for the game it's in, like obviously you wouldn't expect to hear this in Call of Duty.
You wouldn't.
Or Shin Megami Tensei. You wouldn't hear this, but you'd hear it in this kind of game, and I think it fits very well. So
yeah.
It's a different kind of Clash. I still think, overall, my soundtrack is kind of quite up there in comparison to your one.
Yeah.
But yours is still good.
Thank you. Yeah, well, without further ado.
Yeah, let's give it a listen,
yeah. And that was track 3, The Gallery. Now, on to the Clash. I don't think I really know what to say, to be fair, because I think mine's...
We do this every time. We clash during the thing, or we just agree, and it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Or we just agree, because it's either really brutal, and like, no! And then,
I hate your music. Or it's like, that's nice music. I agree with you. That's also nice music.
It's like either really good or really bad.
Yeah. But I think today we both kind of appreciate, like, your music brought me peace of mind. And that's actually very, very nice to listen to your music and go, this actually sounds just peaceful and positive. I like positive music.
Yeah.
To listen to my music and go, you're immersed in this new world kind of thing.
I like
very different experiences, but they're both still good. So
we're
gonna leave it up to the audience.
We'll leave it up to the audience, I think, because I can't really say, this is why mine should win in this case.
However, I do say mine should still win. So
of course, I also think mine should win over Elijah's, because come on, guys, I need to win because I don't want to have to scream in London for bloody.
Don't you guys want to see Judah scream in London and skinny dip in the Thames? Like, come on.
Oh dear, you got more treats obviously. Well, guys, if you want Elijah to climb the fence of Buckingham Palace and stand on the top and say subscribe to JR's Gaming, then run down before he gets shot, make sure I win, because that's going to happen. Or
if you want to see my funeral, guys, and vote for Judah. If you don't, then
it's dark like yeah, no. If you want to see my funeral, actually, if you want to see Elijah, I've got another trick up my sleeve. Pickpocket a shop by accident, and then he's gonna. Oh, sorry, I forgot to pay. That's the sort of thing I'll put you through, Elijah.
Bro, I would just steal it, honestly. I mean, I'm a good boy. I would never do that. I'm so
really? Oh, back to the days when I stole chocolate. The amount of chocolate bars I've got away with stealing. Not recently.
Obviously, when we were young and stupid.
It's so easy. No one cares. No one gives a toss about the
news agents have like one camera and it's never facing the right way. So
exactly. Like when I was like quickly literally the end anyway. When I was like 11 years old, I was with some friends in the general store, and it was like 5 of us walked in, and we were like, what we did was quite funny, because we had one guy in the group like buy a couple of drinks, and the rest of us would just tail him like we were our friends.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And he would like go around, we would follow him, and it just looked like he was the main buyer, and we were all just chatting. But we literally put like we put 2 crunchy bars up one of our sleeves, like each. So I put 2 crunchy bars up my sleeve, and then no one saw. They very carefully just snuck it up. Went out to the counter. The guy pays for his drinks. We're all just trailing around him like, yeah, drinks, yeah, acting like nothing just happened. We all walked out the store.
I think the smartest thing to do is take a few of anything and just pay for like 1 or 2 things.
Yeah, that's what I do.
It's just the easiest way. It doesn't, no suspicion. Yeah. Okay, wait, we shouldn't be saying that.
Yeah. How to do crime.
I mean, I used to steal fidget spinners when I was in like year 7 or year 8, whatever. Just because they had them and they're like £2, but they're just available to take.
No one cares.
Anyway, we were young.
Or an apple. I did.
Don't do that.
One thing I did do. One thing I'll admit, like I did a crime. Sorry, admit. I did a crime 2 years ago. I'm not what. Podcast hadn't started yet, I don't think, but may have done. I don't know. But it was an open market, and there was these like bag of squashies out, like just a massive bag of squashies, and the guy wasn't even at his stall. I got one. That was 2 years ago, and I was like, best bag of squashies for free. Naughty, but anyway, I don't know why we're talking about shoplifting, but yeah, definitely don't shoplift, guys. It's against the law. Pay for these things.
Instead of shoplifting, you should vote.
You should vote
for
my soundtrack, because again, if you want to see a larger shoplift in 4K or 1080p, then vote for me.
I mean, depending on the camera we use, my phone can film in 4K.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
the thing is, it's like the motion is weird. So like you might get motion sick watching it. So.
I was actually going to ask if I can actually film on yours though, because my phone's rubbish, right?
Yeah, it's fine. We can still do that.
You need a tripod as well. I've got a tripod. It's fine.
We'll figure it out. It's fine.
We'll figure it out. I'm looking forward.
We have a professional camera here anyway, so that's good. Yeah,
it'll be good. It'll be good. Yeah, that's great as well. So, guys, now who will win? We'll leave it up to you guys. Which game has better music? Shin Megami Tensei, I said it in one sentence, and Mario and Sonic and the Olympic Winter Games. Which one is better? We will now leave it up to you, the listener. We want you to vote which game soundtrack you preferred. This is really important, as you guys will make this series possible. Please write a comment down below or take part in our polls. They'll be posting on Spotify, YouTube community post, and Discord. If you're unable to do any of this, please write in your vote at our email, JRsGaming, not JRsGaming, but you know, JRsGaming135@gmail.com. That's it.
JRsGaming135@gmail.com.
That is the exact correct way of saying it. Hopefully you caught that. And if you hadn't, grab a pen and paper, because I'm going to say it again. That is JRsGaming135
And here's my phone number while you're at it. 075.
My phone number and my email along with this for a date. No, I'm joking. Anyway, you have until next Saturday, or it could be any time. Again, we're very sorry, guys, for this episode being out late. We have changes in our schedules, but you know, you still get an episode. You still have fun.
Yeah, and you pretty much have a week to vote anyway.
Yeah, exactly. You have a week anyway. You have more than a week. yeah, exactly. But anyway, the battle is on. Only one of us can win. Who will it be? It'll be me. But this is the Nintendo Music Awards. Brah. I don't know. I said brah.
Bro said raw.
Bro said raw. Oh, this tune is absolute vibes. Hey, Elijah, mate, come and check this tune out I've been listening to.
Oh, wow, that sounds really interesting, Judah, but I'm not quite sold on the fact that it sounds as good as the tune I'm listening to. In fact, if you listen to this tune, your mind will be blown away.
What? Really? Let me have a listen. Elijah, I beg to differ. My tune clearly sounded way better.
Is that so? Well, I'm in every mind to object to that, because this is the Nintendo Music Wars.
Hello and welcome to the Nintendo Music Wars, a brand new special and exclusive podcast series.
Each week, me and Judah will bring before you 2 game soundtracks and present 3 of our favourite music tracks from our chosen games.
We will then debate and explain why our chosen soundtrack is better in our own opinion.
Now, me and Judah are extremely biased, so this is where you, yes you, the listener, come in.
Each week we want you all to vote on which soundtrack you thought was best. We will be putting polls out on all our social medias, and this does include Spotify for those of you on Spotify.
And if you're unable to take part in any of the polls, please write in your vote to our podcast email, jrsgaming135@gmail.com.
At the end of each week, we will take in all the votes, and the one of us that gets the most votes that week gets 1 point.
And at the end of the series, the person who gets the most points wins the Nintendo Music Wars.
Elijah, the war is on. I will win this.
Not so fast. We all know who the musician is here.
Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Or watch on YouTube at the JR's Gaming Podcast.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Nintendo Music Wars.